last night's upload, a couple of people commented asking if I was able to see the oil pressure on the car. If you see the clip that was at the beginning of the video, then you notice that I'm kind of hitting the oil pressure gauge and the rest of the gauges to see if it works, because a problem that we had when we first got the car running was that the oil pressure gauge was not reading. It was zero. It was marking zero. So we unplugged it a couple times, replugged it in, made sure the wiring was good and everything, and it was perfect. And after unplugging it and replugging it about 3 or 4 times, it finally started reading pressure. And the motor had pressure the whole time. It was cranking, it built pressure perfectly. Inside of the head, there was oil flowing out. This was before we had any oil pump issue. But the reason I was hitting the gauges was because I was just trying to make sure there was actually oil pressure. So this was recorded after I recorded today's footage. So let me rewind and show you guys exactly how my day went. What's going on, YouTube? Good morning, good evening, good whatever your time you're watching this. If you saw yesterday's upload, then you noticed that we went down to the track. We went to Orlando Speed World. We had a good time. I was there with some great friends, kicked it back, whatever. Unfortunately, we had some issues with the car. Nothing tune or build related, more user related. We think that when I was clutching in at the very end of the pass, I went in and overextended the twin disc, causing the crank to move towards the inside, crush the thrust washers, thus for pushing the oil pump gears together or towards like the outside, and probably ended up cracking the oil pump, unfortunately. So we are heading back to the shop right now where I have the car, and we're gonna start pulling the motor out, and hopefully we can get some good content, a couple time lapses, start tearing down the motor and find out exactly what we need to do. Okay, so we are at the shop right now. Got the hoist, the stand, getting ready to pull everything. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna set it on time lapse for this because it's gonna be maybe about an hour worth of pulling if I actually get into it, or a little bit more if I decide to take my time. It's fairly easy. I mean, everything's tucked away. Just gotta disconnect the mounts and axles and pull everything out. So yeah, peace, let's get started. So I've got both axles out, freed up on the sides, transmission fluid drained, oil fluid drained, engine oil drained, coolant drained. Not really going too crazy fast on it. I was going to be going fast on it, but because my buddy was gonna bring by his car to do his head gasket today. But I'm off work and he had to work today, so he can't bring the car by, so we're not really gonna be doing that. So the whole day we'll just focus on this, take it nice and easy, and continue pulling it out. Next step would be loosen all the mounts, take off the charge piping and the manifold. I think I might just leave the manifold on, to be honest with you. We'll just probably disconnect a few other stuff and it should be ready to pull in about 30 minutes. Got the motor out, kind of the getaway, lowering the car after the mounts were off, but whatever. It's 100% free right now, and I'm stepping over stuff. I think we're just gonna put it on a stand and start tearing it down. Still, it's really fun. Yeah, also, it sucks what happened, but what happens? Okay, it sucks what happens. Yeah. We're gonna fix soon. Yeah. Should be good. The van? No. Oh. Pull the pan off. Good amount of shavings right there. That's what happens when you go swap at the top pile. Let's finish pulling this off. I think I'm not gonna do time lapse, I'm just gonna leave it. so you guys can see the live action. Hello. So this is the pickup. Gets oil from the bottom. I'm talking to you too. This pickup gets oil from the bottom in the pan, and then it sends it through the oil pump. There's something in here. Oh, pieces of chunks of metal. Can you hear it? Oh my God! That's a peep. That's a piece of the oil pump right there. Oh gosh.
Is that the oil gear?
Huh?
Is that a piece of the oil gear?
Probably, yeah. That's nice. That's real nice. I don't know if I explained it for this video or not already, but what I think happened is that using a twin disc, you're supposed to put a clutch stop. That way you don't overextend it. And I hadn't put a clutch stop yet, so driving on the street especially, I'd made sure to only get to that engagement point and not go over it, drive it normally. And on the street I was fine, but then at the track, I might have panicked or whatever and gone too far, and these rods are looking nice and toasty. Real toasty. These are supposed to be like a bright aluminum. For those of you who know what it is, Eagle rods. And they're all nice and toasty. Yeah, it's 85. So I'm gonna pull the timing cover right now and expose the oil pump. Oh, thank you. And my keys are in there too.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
There's the wallet and the key over here.
Appreciate it.
Alright, bro.
Thanks,
Take it
dude.
easy.
Have fun at work.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Carnage. Huh?
You're probably gonna need to speak up if you're gonna talk to the thing.
This thing is ridiculous. We can't find the right bit to open the oil pump. So right now we're just going to take the rod caps off so we can look at that. Look at the rod bearings and the main bearings. And I can't find my long ratchet. You guys are probably gonna give me crap about this, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get the torque on the necessary items. Got all the caps off and exactly what we thought. They're all nice and toasty. This was about a minute or two of running after the indication started of a bad oil pump, which was once we got out from the pass, is when we started having the problems. There was a guy in the comments section, I think 2 days ago, who said, "Why don't you guys have video on engine build?" Well, we'll have a video on engine build very soon. We're gonna keep on tearing down the engine. Pull the crank out, mains, the block itself looks okay, thank God. The bearings were toast on it. Crank probably needs to, yeah, I probably need a new crank. But yeah, you know, rods look pretty toast too. So upgraded rods, look for a deal on a crank, and put it back together as soon as I get time, or as soon as I get the parts. So we just got the caps off and everything. The cam looks a little bit wore down. It's not in perfect condition, but when I bought them, they were used also, so there was also a little bit of wear. Luckily, you can't catch fingernail on anything. There's no indentation, and same goes for the journals. They look okay. On the rockers, you can see there's a little bit of wear. Nothing crazy. I'm still gonna make sure that the valve lash is perfect when we put it back together. But just right off the bat, without really close inspection yet, it looks like we may have been okay with the head, luckily. So we're gonna set the cams off to the side right now and continue to pull off the rest of the head. All right, got the head off. Everything seems okay right off the bat right there. Gonna push the pistons out, or pull the pistons out, and look a little bit closer. See if we can see any abnormalities in the bore of the cylinders. Everything came off nice and easy. Head studs were nice and tight, so nothing crazy there. Kind of hard with one hand. As you guys can see, I have that CSS block running perfectly in this car. Runs super cool, no overheating issues whatsoever, and it was holding the boost great. So we are super happy to be rocking this, and hopefully the block is still going to be good because of the bottom end issues, but I'm sure it will be. Hoping for it at least, and we can sport this wonderful product again. Got all the pistons out. Looking at the cylinders, there's quite a bit of scoring in there. I'm sure that's just from running hot towards the end. Luckily, it doesn't look like there's anything too crazy. Nothing that you can catch a fingernail or anything on. So what I think we're gonna be doing, if I'm not mistaken, just like roughly right now thinking about it, I think what I'm gonna end up doing is getting a new set of rods, because although these can be salvageable, probably cleaned up and check the bore to see if they're still within spec. Not 100% sure. You would have to do that first. Well, you would have to do that first to check them out first. I think I'm just gonna end up upgrading rods while we're at it, or seeing if anybody has a fresh set that I can throw in. And as for the bore, what I'll probably do is give it a nice fresh hone and make sure everything is within spec. As soon as I find out if it's spec or not, which I hope it is, then I'll throw in a fresh set of rings, gap them to that fresh hone, and we should be on our way. The pistons look okay. They're burning very nicely. E85 is keeping them nice and clean, within reason, you know. I'm gonna look at something down here. I want to see on the block itself where the thrust bearings or thrust washers go. Make sure it's not ate up or anything. It looks okay. Clean that up with a rag. Just want to make sure there's no cracks in the block or anything. But from the looks of it, I think we got a little lucky. Oil pump failure is never a good thing, especially when you're getting ready to run again. But since we never ran the second time, and I think it happened right at the end of the first pass, and I think we're okay. So that pretty much sums up today's video. Unfortunately, we have a lot to go through on the motor. We're probably gonna do rods, different set of rods, bearings, rings, oil pump obviously, because this oil pump is destroyed. I think I have a spare pickup that I can use, so I make sure that there's no chunks of the oil pump in there. Besides that, you guys have been asking for a motor build, so we were gonna wait until my buddy's Alfonso's motor was out and we could do some stuff to his to show you guys some actual build. But we're gonna take this unfortunate opportunity to move forward and show you guys a little bit of how we like to build our engines. Even though we're not a professional shop or anything, we show you guys that you can still do it here at home. Pretty much, if you guys have any questions, like always, just leave it down in the comment section below. It sucks that we're gonna have to do this, but it gives us the opportunity to come out bigger and better. And while this is down, I'll probably have my 44mm wastegate welded on. That way we can go back to the dyno next time and make some more power, more consistent, better boost by gear and everything. Or actually use the boost by gear this time and dial it in next time. Probably 1 month from now, I'll probably go back to the track and see if I can get some better runs in. Shooting for 10s, mid to low 10s. That would be awesome in this car. I also got to get a roll cage welded in. If you guys have any ideas on what type of roll cage you like to use or any recommendation on roll cages, let me know down in the comment section below. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Before the video is finished, I want to give a huge shout out to Honda Vlogs. I just found out about it last night, actually. I got a couple people send me the link to their video. They like to review a whole bunch of vlogs on Hondas, which is basically what we do. And I was in one of their last videos, they mentioned ours, our channel and everything. So if you haven't already seen them, go check them out. I'll put the link down in the description as always. Just stay tuned for next stuff. Hopefully I'm just rambling on. I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. Anyways, check back often. We have a Facebook page now. It's called SB Tuning Car Culture. Go hit the like button on that. Hit the notification. We're always putting updates on there. And like always, stay tuned.